Welcome to the Emporium Outdoors. My name is Michael, and today I'm going to share with you one piece of equipment I've come to appreciate over the years of winter hot tent camping. So as you can see, this isn't exactly winter camping weather, as we're having a drought of snow in Canada right now. And this is probably the mildest I've ever seen it since I came to live in Canada 10 plus years ago. So exceptionally strange times. However, I went camping recently without it and I missed it desperately. And it's one of those pieces of equipment that I've come to appreciate more and more over the years. And it's a very simple piece of equipment and I'm going to show it to you right now. So this is a LogCarrier. Really simple piece of equipment. It's a canvas bag that's made with canvas webbing, a couple of leather handles, and this is a commercially made one. I picked this up from Princess Auto and I think it was around $20 or $30, something like that. Very simple. This one has sides all the way around and it's a fair size. I'll put all the sizes up on the screen so you can see. But this strangely has saved me so much work when I've been camping out in the bush. It's not even funny. So when you're moving lots of logs around or you're cutting and splitting logs, moving them inside your tent can be a bit painful sometimes, and having something to actually put the cut logs into so you're not picking them up twice is a real lifesaver. When it's very, very cold, kind of minus 20, minus 30, everything takes so much more energy. So if I can take a log, split it, put it in a bag like this, and then move it inside the tent when I'm all done, that saves me having to pick it up again, then move it again. So this actually saves the labor by half. Also, when you're picking up things in the bush and you need to move them around, it's so much nicer to have this where you can just sling it over a shoulder and carry it, then kind of lump it down by your side and you're kind of destabilized. If you can get this up on your shoulder over your back, it's very central to your mass and it's actually quite convenient to carry with. Longer handles are always better. So this is a commercial one that I picked up because my old one's looking a little bit worn out, and I'll show you that next. So this is a wood stove I've had for about 6 years. I bought it with my Snow Trekker tent, and you can see lots of videos online with me using this very stove and the Snow Trekker tent. And it's been a great tent and stove, to be honest. The stove is probably, I'd say, 12 inches by 12 inches by, it's about 18 inches, something around that type of dimension. Let's say I think it's a Kinko or Nyko, whichever way you pronounce it. It's the Trekker, but it's sold by Snow Trekker, so it's slightly modified from the stock model. But if I just get rid of the stove, this is the carrier I made about 13 years ago. And this is a slightly different design, as you can see. So it's just a piece of cotton canvas that I edged with some piping all the way around. And then I ran a continuous piece of this thicker webbing, cotton webbing, all the way around. I did fray the strap at some point and had to repair it, but it's pretty easy to repair. And the strap actually goes continuously around in one big loop. So I hope that makes sense. This is much longer, so when you are moving logs around, just throw a log in there. So I was saying about the throwing it over your back with this longer strap. It's much easier to get it behind your back and to still have a little grip. With the other one, it's going to be higher up. So this is much more comfortable and it's been great. Like I say, 13 years this has lasted me, and I've had to repair it once, I think. But my stove normally lives inside this, and as you can see, it's got some holes inside it, and it's taken a beating, but it's still serviceable after 13 years. So the reason you want to make these things out of natural materials rather than nylon or any type of plastic is they're going to get hot, or the way I use them, they get hot. So when the stove is done. So I'm packing up, for instance, or if there's an emergency, I'm going to basically take off the stovepipe. The legs are still going to be intact. The stove is either going to be warm or sometimes even hot if I'm packing up and I need the heat before I get out of the tent. Then I can simply throw this over the top of the stove, and I can move the stove with gloved hands, and I'm not going to burn my gloves and damage them. This thing will stay on there for a period of time. I wouldn't leave it on long term, but it's enough for you to actually get the stove, pick it up and move it. And then when you're transporting it as well, you can put the stove inside the canvas, and it keeps all that soot and dirt off the other equipment. So it doubles up as a storage container as well as a log mover. So with this type of design, you can see you've got the side panels, which you may or may not prefer. I'm not sure whether I do like them that way, and I may alter it. It'd be pretty easy to actually cut this down the center and to seal it and to use it that way. So the new bag I picked up from Princess Auto actually fits this stove like a glove, which is amazing. I thought it would be slightly too small, but actually works great. So the other good thing about a bag that you know roughly is the same size as the stove is if the logs fit in the bag, they're going to fit in the stove. So it's a good way to check that you're not putting logs or cutting logs too long, because I think there's probably about 4 inches of room in here that the log would be too long. And it's got these little leather type handles as well, a bit more refined than my version of the LogCarrier, but works great. And you can find so many other uses for these LogCarriers as well. They're great for throwing down in the snow and kneeling on, so you're not kneeling on the ice, for instance, hurting your knees. Keep some of the snow from sticking to your trousers, etc. And they're just super easy to kind of make if you have a sewing machine at home that can stitch slightly thicker material. Some of the heavy duty Singer sewing machines would be fine doing this. I think that's what I used for this, but it wasn't like a super heavy sewing machine. But a nice kind of 15-ounce cotton or duck cotton would be very nice as well. And then when you go for the handles, go for the thicker type of cotton strapping. You'll be able to tell when you go and buy it whether it's going to be thick enough, because there's quite a lot of strain on there. Like I say, there was one place that frayed but didn't fail, that I've stitched together, and it's back to fully serviceable again. So it does have a few holes in the canvas, but the great thing about canvas is it will hold without tearing. A synthetic material will tend to run and to split, whereas canvas, these can be darned or patched, whichever you wish. I don't think it's that important. And then when this is completely done, I'll probably take the strap off, produce another piece of canvas, and I'll have a brand new LogCarrier that will last me probably another 13 years. So I just wanted to share that little tip with you. I've been using it since I started winter camping, and it's one of those things you miss significantly when you forget it behind, as I did recently, and it made me really kind of understand exactly how important it was to my setup. If you don't want to go to the trouble of making your own, there's lots of available ones out there, and they can range to over $100 to something a little bit more cheaper, like this Princess Auto one, which, like I say, I think it was like $30, something like that. But it works really well. The sizes, you can hopefully see on the back, is 11.5 inches tall by 10 inches wide, and then 24.4 inches long. And my stove fits within that quite easily. So there you go, the humble LogCarrier and its uses. There's 100 uses for it once you get out in the bush. So I hope you liked the video. Let me know in the comments if you have something similar to this, or you have any other tips you'd like to share about winter camping. And until next time, take care. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, leave me a comment, maybe a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.